This may be our first time probably traveling. I look at myself and I think that was just such a fool. Just know you're dashing the airport people. Fortunately or
I've made the mistakes already, guys. You don't have to make the mistakes as well.
I'm outside in an AMG, right outside, TT, two-turn baby girl, you know me.
Welcome to my channel. My name is Temi Tokwe, aka Temi T, and on this channel I basically talk about experiences that I've had and then journeys and things that I've been through. I basically everything that I've learned from my past experience, I bring it on here and tell you guys the mistakes that I've made so that you guys will not make the same mistakes over again. So let's get straight into the video. Don't forget to hit the subscription button below, like this video and share this video with as many people as you can. If you're a returning subscriber, then thank you so much for tuning in again. Comments, I see your likes. Thank you all so much for engaging with my channel. I really do appreciate it. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about 1 or 2 tips that you should know ahead of booking and traveling internationally. Because I know for some of us, this may be our first time probably traveling like on an international flight, traveling out of the country internationally, and there are common mistakes that people make, and there are just 1 or 2 things that you should know to ensure that your journey is like smooth, you don't have any hassles, everything just goes well for you. So let's get straight into the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't and hit that like button, like this video, and leave a comment if you have any questions. The first thing I would say is that you should ensure that you come early enough for your flight. I know that a lot of people say these things, and because I even heard it myself, but I ended up coming late. You try and ensure that you come at least 3 hours ahead of your flight, because not even necessarily because of the process, but there's usually a long queue for them to attend to you for checking in your bags or even to check your migration documents. I think that's like the major thing that takes a lot of time, just basically standing in the queue, because there are like how many airport officials and then how many people that are traveling. So you see that you can end up spending like 1 hour on the queue. So at the end, and then obviously the flight is not going to wait for you. So please try and come at least 3 hours early, 3 hours before your flight time, so that you are checked in on time and then you don't have to be rushing and hustling and then you are settled. The second thing that I would say again, and I mentioned this in my earlier video, is that you should ensure that you have weighed your bags correctly. Again, for international flights, you can carry 2 23 kg bags, or you could just carry like 1 32 kg bag. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. You can't merge the 2 23 kg together and say that you're going to carry 146. It's not allowed. So it's either you throw them 2 23 separately or 1 32 kg bag. If you know that you plan to pay for extra luggage, and I'm not saying like, oh, probably your bag is a bit overweight, oh, that's fine. But if you know that, okay, you've packed everything, you still need to pack some more things, so you are therefore going to pay for extra luggage, you should try and pay for it online and not in the airport, because it's much more expensive to pay for in the airport. So when you're packing your bags and you're arranging and then you notice that, oh, I have to carry this one whether I want to or not, and then you're going to bring it there, try and pay for the extra luggage. Obviously wait and then see what like the extra kg is going to be, and then contact your airline that, okay, how much do you guys pay for extra luggage, because it's definitely going to be cheaper if you're paying online before you're checking than when you're paying the airport. Another thing that I would say is, because I got a lot of questions as regards my hand luggage or my carry-on bag. So basically, I'm just going to put a picture here so that you guys know what I carried and what it looked like. I actually carried 3 pieces, but then all of them were not more than the total weight kg allowance given by the airline. So you don't like have to carry like 1 box and then that's it. You can carry a box and a handbag. And then in my case, I even carried like a backpack, my box, and then another like small bag on top of the box. As far as you know, those things are not heavy. I'm not trying to use it as a cheat or as a cop out to take away some extra luggage from your main bag and then just stuff your hand luggage. Obviously, no, they would not allow you. But you don't have to carry like just 1 piece of hand luggage. You can carry like your handbag or your backpack with your box, and then even another bag. Obviously, just remember that you have to be comfortable, because if you have a long layover and then moving to connect your first flight to the other flight, that is something that will probably be tricky for you. So don't come and inconvenience yourself, but you don't have to carry just 1 small box as your hand luggage. I hope that clears it. Again, if you have any questions, don't forget to comment section and I'll try and answer it as much as I can. Another thing I'll say is that liquids above 100 ml, they are not allowed on your flight. You can pack them in your checked bags, the bags that are going like at the back of the carriage, but you can't carry liquids above 100 ml in your carry-on bags, and that goes to like perfumes or like maybe hair gels or hair shampoo and all of that. They have to be like the tiny sizes that are below 100 ml, and that's not like 100 ml collectively, it's like 100 ml individually. Because like even when I was flying, they gave me like a juice box, an apple juice box, and the juice box was 120 ml. That was like the juice that was the quantity of the juice that was inside. I got it from the plane, but I wasn't allowed to take it to the other plane. That's how deep it is. Like, so you have to ensure that, especially if you bought like one mad perfume that you're already planning to spray and the stuff is 200 ml and they have already checked your bags, you can't now go back and put it in those bags that they've already checked. You have to leave it for them in the airport, and it can be madly painful. So please just know ahead of time now that if you're packing any liquid in your bag, it has to be 100 ml or below. For things that are more than that, then you have to pack it in your checked bag, because once they've checked the bag into the plane and then you're not carrying that one in your hand, just know you're dashing the airport people, fortunately or unfortunately for you. Sorry. Another thing that I would say is choosing your seats on the aircraft, because that was a mistake that I made. I think I paid about 20k so that I can sit by the window. Now I look at myself and I think that was just such a fool. You can choose your seats for free, you don't have to pay. You can choose where you want to sit on the aircraft for free. Again, obviously depends on the ticket that you have, and because you can't go and choose your business class seats and say this YouTuber said I can choose my seats for free. That's not what it is. So you can choose any of the seats in your class on the plane for free. Online check-in opens 24 hours before your flight departure. So once you are able to check in online, you can actually choose any of the seats within your class of seats that you want to sit in. So let's say that economy seats are from here to here, and there's like maybe another higher economic class, you have to pay for those ones. But as far as within your ticket range, you can choose that, okay, you want to sit like maybe in the middle, by the side or the back, or you want to like choose a window seat. You don't necessarily have to pay. You just have to wait for 36 to 24 hours before your flight's takeoff time, and then check in online on the airline's website that you're flying with. You just put your name and then you put your flight number or the booking reference. It usually tell you on the website which one to put. So, and then you will see the option to check in online. They will ask you for one or two information, maybe your passport details and all of that, and to get to a section that you can actually choose your seats instead of paying for it ahead of time, which was something that I did and a mistake that I made that time. So I've made the mistakes already, guys. You don't have to make the mistakes as well. The next thing I'm going to talk about is your COVID test, your PCR test, your all of that COVID-19 pandemic ish. It's not specific to an airline if you should do a COVID test or not, or if you should do like maybe PCR or all of them things. It's usually the country that you are flying into. The government would say, okay, anybody coming into our country has to have a positive COVID test. That's when the airlines will now action out the instructions of the government. So you will notice that, okay, let's say we're flying Rwanda Air and you flew Rwanda Air to Rwanda, you had to do a COVID test because the Rwanda government said if you are coming in from these countries, then you have to do a COVID test. But if you are flying Rwanda Air to somewhere like UK, you notice that you probably don't have to, because the UK government did not specify that, okay, people coming from these countries have to do a COVID test. So again, it's about the country that you are flying into and the laws that the government have put in place for that country. So again, just check and ensure that you have your information correctly. The airlines are just there to enforce and ensure that what the government is saying is what you're actually complying with, not that they are necessarily saying, okay, we as maybe British Airways or we as Virgin Atlantic are going to be asking for COVID tests. No, that's not it. It's what the government says, that they are just like, is it the foot soldiers or the action men that action it out. So confirm what are the requirements for entering that country. Yeah, your visa obviously, but what are the do you require a COVID test or probably like a yellow fever test and all of that. Just check that ahead of time again so that you are not stranded and then they are speaking English to you. And this information is usually readily available on the internet. Just Google the government's website and then the information is there. You can also ask your agent or call the airline and then confirm from them so that you are not having any surprises at the airport. So another thing that I'm going to talk about are transit visas. Now, so basically when you book your flight and then you see that, okay, you're going to be traveling from point A through point B to point C, you have to check and be sure that you don't need a transit visa for that country. So they are basically like visas that is issued to non-immigrants that are going to be traveling through a particular country that you cannot enter without a visa. And there are some airports that have non-visa zones. So basically, there are parts of the airport that you can stay in that you don't have to have like a visa to be in that country. That's fine. They have no issues with it. They know that okay, you're just waiting to connect your flight to your final destination that you have your visa for. Thing depends on like the country that you are flying from, like the passport that you have, especially in the Schengen area for people that have like Nigerian passports. Because if you just go on their website, I'm going to put a picture here, you can see that anybody coming in from Nigeria that just as much as touches the ground of the Schengen area, you need to have it. No, they are not going to allow you to even board the plane. So you have to check and be sure that you don't need a transit visa when you are flying. So anywhere in Europe that you are usually transiting to, you are most likely definitely going to need a transit visa. But places like the United Arab Emirates, like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, they have those non-visa zones that you can just sit and wait in the airport to connect your flights. Especially the EU and the Schengen area, because it's clearly listed on their website that people coming in from Nigeria, you therefore have to have a transit visa. Not even like an actual visa to stay, a visa to just transit through their airports, which probably sounds crazy to me, but unfortunately those are the laws that are applicable there. So just check and be sure. Contact your agent, the person that booked it for you. Contact the airline again as well to be sure, so that you don't go to the airports and then you're not hearing funny stories. If you are flying through places like Amsterdam, Paris, anywhere in Germany, honestly you definitely need a transit visa for those places. So if you already booked your flight, try and get it. If you have not, try and avoid places that are flying through those routes, so that you are not there and then they are now speaking one form of English to you and then you are stuck, because being stranded at the airport is not it at all. I should mention that there are technical stops. So a technical stop basically is where an aircraft stops, but there is no like traffic or no persons unloaded from the aircraft or unloaded to the aircraft. So the aircraft is just stopping to like make a repair, to maybe refill or do one or two essential repairs that are required. But basically the gist of it is that nobody is coming down from the airplane, so you are not touching like the ground, or you're not actually stepping foot on that you're not actually stepping foot in that country, because you are not leaving the plane. And then technical stops are usually like maybe 30 to 45 minutes. They are not that long. If you have a technical stop through wherever, then you don't need a transit visa, because you are not coming down from the aircraft. But if it's like a proper layover that you are going to be staying and you're actually going to be coming down from the aircraft, then you need a transit visa. So confirm again with your agent, confirm with your airline, ask these questions to them, and be sure that you don't need these things, or if you need it, then go and try and get it ahead of time, so that you're not stranded in one airport in the middle of wherever. Because I know that there are flights that have like about 3 stops, so they've taken you far away from where you're coming from to a place that you don't know, and they're asking you for a document that you don't have, and then you are now stranded looking for what next to do. So please ask these questions. Find out also online what is on the government's websites. Okay, people traveling from where you are coming from, what are the documents that you probably need? Ask your agents, and the agents again, they will not have all the information, so just call the airlines too and ask them and confirm from them that you don't need these things, so that you are not having issues with your flights or with your travel. The final thing I want to talk about is making payments for your international flights. Again, taking it back to Nigeria and being a Nigerian. So basically, before, what airlines did was that they will collect naira from the customers, because obviously it's naira that we have, and then take that naira to the Central Bank of Nigeria, and then the CBN will give them the currency that they need, because Emirates is not going to do anything with your naira. They don't spend that they don't spend that currency there. Etihad, Qatar, British, all of them. But they usually collect naira from the customer, then take it to the government. The government changes it for them and then gives them the currency that they actually need. But you've seen the news, the government is owing them, fortunately or unfortunately. So what they are doing now is that they are going to collect the currency, whatever currency it is they want, directly from the consumers, which is us. And then normally it's something that you can do with your card, but because of the $20 limit on the card thing, you notice that if you're trying to make payments with your card, it's not going to work. That's the sad life. It's so unfortunate, but that's what it is. You are trying to make payments with your card. If it's like your normal Naira savings account card, the payments will not go through, unfortunately, because of the limits. Even if the price is showed in Naira, sometimes it can be that ultimately, however they do their conversion, but at the end of the day, it's dollars that is going to get to them. But they are just showing you that so that it's like easier to understand for you. So I know that there's this thing that you can make a transfer. So again, just call. See, if you are booking, especially if you are a new or a first timer, you are going to be calling these people a lot to get all the information you need, because at the end of the day, they have a customer care. That is their job. So call them and find out. I know that there are 1 or 2 airlines that have Nigerian bank accounts, so they'll just collect Naira from you and then do the whole jangbajantis with their banks and then with the other banks, and then convert it to the currency they want. All of that is out of your head, so you can do like a bank transfer into the dedicated bank instead of doing the whole card thing. Or if you have a dollar card, you can make payments with your card. I know that if you are trying to process a refund, it's usually much easier if you make payments with your card for them to trace it and refund it back to your card, as opposed to the transfer, because of the whole whatever that goes on with the banks and whatnot that I don't know a lot about. So if you have a dollar card, I think that should be your first goal, to use the card to pay, just so that in case there is any English, you are more protected when you make payments with your card. But if you are going to have to do a transfer, then call up the customer care, get their own specific whatever the specific Naira account for the country, for the airline, and then make payments to them. I think those are like the most common issues and topics with booking international flights that I've come across. If there's anyone, you guys can also let me know in the comment section. I'll try and find out as much information as I possibly can. But with that, we have come to the end of this video. So thank you all for every single person that stays to the end of this video. I appreciate every single one of you. Again, if you have any questions, don't forget to drop it in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, share this video, because there are 1 or 2 things that somebody can, even if you are not traveling now, at least you are definitely going to travel at some point in your lives. So just have this information at the back of your head, so that you don't fall a victim to being stuck in the airport, or you don't have like 1 or 2 hassles or issues with your stay. Thank you again to all my subscribers, returning and new subscribers. Yeah, this is the end of the video. I said before, thank you for staying. You know that there is a $20 limit on your card. So yeah, till my next video, I drop a video every week, so stay tuned next week for my next video. Thank you guys again. You've been lovely, you've been wonderful. Bye, I guess.